how do you go about communicating roles, empowering certain guys to have bigger roles maybe than they had before?
Mhm.
Like, how do you get buy-in from players?
It's everyone. And so before I even go into what we do, I talk about our player development staff, our front office, our coaches, like everyone is helping the young men see exactly what they're capable of being. But you also have to sit down and talk to them and say, what do you want to do and be for the next 2 or 3 years? Because the guy's going to say, I want to come in, I want to average 22, 10, and 5. Okay. What does that look like? What does that look like within this team? And then so now you break it down. What bodies of work do you have to go through, and what do you need to put yourself through and ask the coaches to put you through in order to get to that? And does it fit with exactly what we're doing? And so knowing you want to help them reach their maximum potential, how do you help them talk about, okay, well, here's how we're going to play. And if we play this way, here's where your spots, here's where you'll get shots, here's where this is all of the things that you need to do in order to get to what you want, but it's also helping the team. So it's both parties benefit because you're helping them reach their maximum potential on top of our team's potential.
No, I totally get that. I mean, I'm not saying that you do this, but I think there is a danger at times because I've been in
Mhm.
this world now for 18 years, like, and I still talk to people, and I hear things where a player or a coach will say, "I want to be like so and so." I think there's value um, in studying how certain guys operate in pick and roll,
Yeah.
studying off ball movement. Like, if I'm a player that is an off ball player right now, I'm watching Sabonis and Herter and Malik Monk and De'Aaron Fox run their DHO action. And then I'm implementing that in player development. But there is a danger, I think, in the comparison piece where a player or a coach says, you should be him. That's not maximizing you. That's trying to be someone else.
Exactly
So
right.
then if that player is an all NBA player and you're not, is that you a failure? There,
You,
but you see it happen all the time.
I've had to catch myself, and I said this to someone the other day about P, because he's his own.
Yeah.
He's going to create his own everything. And that's what is so great about him being a willing learner and a student of the game. He takes pieces, but he's going to create who he is. The same, like Franz is the same, Jalen's the same. All our young guys, you know, Cole, they're all taking pieces from other people. And so I think when you can do that to be the best version of you, taking those pieces, you don't have to compare yourself to the person or the people. You just take aspects of the games and make it your own. And that's how you maximize it.
Yeah. It was interesting talking to Franz. I really felt like that's what he does,
Oh,
right? He was talking about his use of second spectrum. It's one of my favorite moments we've had on any episode of any podcast. And I was like, specifically, what are you doing? And he's talking about how Jimmy Butler gets to the free throw line or how a certain player operates in space. And it's just like, yes, that is the right way of thinking about this. Um, I I want to go back because you played high level college basketball. You played professionally, um, overseas.
overseas, overseas.
Overseas. You had some game. You had a bag.
I had a little bit, yeah,
You had a
little bit,
bag.
a little bit.
Um, the motivation for you to get into coaching, how your motivations around coaching have evolved, your viewpoints around coaching, how have they evolved as well?
Well, initially, first of all, my motivation has always been about helping people become the best version of themselves. That's it. Like, so that's always been the case. Whether I was in high school, on my team, college, pro, I always wanted to help people become better. So that was it. Um, the side that has come now, from when I first started, was in Denver. I didn't know that I wanted to do it. Right. So it wasn't like I jumped right into it. My mom had passed away uh, the year before, and I was searching to try to find what to do. George Carl got the job in Denver. I had known John Welch and Tim Gergerich, and they groomed me into what it was, like what real player development was, the on court, the hours spent, the time when they call you, pick up the phone, you're going back to the gym at 1:30 in the morning, getting shots up, playing one-on-one over and over and over again to help these guys become the best version of themselves. And that view for me has not changed. Like it's still about that. And now it's just in the context of how do we do that and maximize these guys' potential within the, in what we're doing as a group and help them understand it's about the group.
That's interesting. Was there not a
aha moment?
Yeah, I think, but no, because I think there's, I think everybody has motivations and everybody has goals.
Yeah.
But there's a difference between like the player development side and being groomed for that and eventually being capable of being a high level NBA coach.
Yeah.
And so there's got to be like, did you set out to be a head coach? Did you have an aha moment of, oh shit, that's what I want to be someday?
Well, it's interesting. With Gerg, he would always challenge me and test me. Like, if you really want to do this, here's what it takes. And so there were levels. There's always levels. So then you want to move to the front of the bench because you see everybody move. Your friends are all in the industry. They're moving to the front of the bench. You're like, I want to get to the front of the bench. And then you get to the front of the bench and the game's a little faster up there, right? Because it's real time. And then you get to the front of the bench. You're like, okay, I want an assignment. I want to take the defense. I want to be a defensive coordinator, whatever that means, taking the next step up. And the thought process of becoming a head coach was that there was some motivation to do it. But then I started realizing, and players say it all the time, and being a star in my own role, whatever it was in the moment that I was in, be that. Because as you go through interviews and teams are like, no, not what we're looking for, not what we're looking for. You're like, okay, let me just be still in where I am and be great at this moment. Just like we ask our players to do, be in this moment. You're not going to be the you 3 years from now. Be the you right now. And that's what I had to settle into.
Yeah. Makes a lot of sense. The first game I was ever with Dallas. So I after All-Star break, I played leading into All-Star break. My last game with New Orleans, we played Chicago. We had a game the next night. And I was dealing with this Achilles injury. And throughout that season, because I was compensating so much because I couldn't load that foot, I would basically have these like random hamstring strains. So I wake up after the Chicago game and I'm like, I told Stan, I was like, I can't play, dude. My hamstring is so tight. I went out to try to warm up. I took 2 shots. I said, nah, it's not going to work. I tried to do a side step 3 and I was like, nah, not going to work. Can't go guard somebody right now. Not that I was good at that anyways at that stage. But
defender.
Yeah. So I go back to New York. I go see O'Malley. I was like, I don't want to get surgery. I want to try to get the season done, try to make it through the season. So I do PRP and I just rehabbed in New York. I get traded. You guys happen to be playing the New York Knicks. So I said, I'll just join the team. It was a week or so after I got traded. I'll just join the team when you guys are in New York and then I'll start traveling with you guys. And Rick got COVID. He tested positive for COVID on the day of the game.
That's right.